You survived the weekend. Now we get to do some math because we have electricity. Yay! So, go ahead and put your name on the top of your paper. I'm going to put Mr. McKelvey. This really helps me just practice using my pen because something you got to relearn every day. Now for today's lesson, it might be something you're like, whoa, we've never done this before. Well, we've sort of done it before, and they assume you remember a little bit more than I think we actually do, which is okay. I'll walk you through these parts. And it's converting units of measure. Now, some of this should come flooding back, but often we need to remember how to go from one measurement to another. What? Because it's not always best to use whatever measurement we have to be given. So we need to be flexible and adaptable, and these are good things. Now, if you guys see, we have this nifty table of which we're going to fill out. What they'd like us to do is to complete the table and then describe the pattern in the completed table. We have perimeter and area are the two things we're going to be focusing on. And we've gotten a lot more comfortable with those, remembering and learning those formulas. So for what they'd like us to do is all these gaps we need to do the measurements for. So in this first perimeter column, let's do the perimeter for this rectangle in A. Let's do feet, because that's the given units, so that's mega easy. Now if you see here, if we add up all the feet, so we have 1 foot plus 1.5 feet plus another 1 feet plus 1.5 feet. Add that all together, 1 plus 1 is 2, and 1 plus 5 plus 1.5 is 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 feet. Now that wasn't so difficult. Now we need to do this in inches. So we have a few ways of which we can do this. We can turn all the feet to inches and then add everything up. So we know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. 12, and then if you have a 1 foot and then a half a foot, there's 6 inches in a foot, so 12 plus 6 would be 18 inches and 18 inches. So we have 12 plus 12, which is 24, and then 18 plus 18, which is 36. 18 plus 36 is 60. Now this is where you're going to start to see a pattern. Let's do 60 divided by 5, as that says, and then, oh my goodness, you get 12 inches over 1 foot. Feet stays down there, inches stays up there, and 60 divided by 5 is 12. Now let's do the area. Let's see what's actually going on here. Let's do feet, because feet's easy. So if we do the area, length times width, it's 1 times 1.5, and hey, it's 1.5. Now if we do this in inches, we'll have 12 inches as our length and 18 inches as our width, and if you multiply those two things together, you'll get 216. I didn't do that in my head, just so we know. Now here's something, especially on this, on these columns, when we end up simplifying, I suggest you use a calculator, but not until you end up simplifying. Hey, there's no security risk. But let's do 216 divided by 1.5. That equals 144 inches over feet squared. Let's look at the next one. Now they give us dimensions already in inches, so let's go ahead and do that one first. Now in order to find the perimeter, we add them all up. Easy peasy. 8 plus 6 is 14, plus 10 is 24, and 24. Now let's do it in feet. Now this is where we get a little bit of a practice not using our calculators. An easy way to turn all of these into feet is to turn them into fractions. We know 8 inches is the same as 8 over 12 feet. Plus, hey, you guessed it, 6 over 12 plus 10 over 12. Well, now, 8 plus 6 plus 10, we already did, which is 24. And 24 over 12, that simplified is just 2 feet. Hey, it's 2 whole feet all the way around that thing. Now, let me ask you, what is 24 over 2 simplified? Well, that would be 12 over 1. Are we starting to notice a pattern? Hopefully we notice it now. Now, let's look at area. Area would be the base times the height and chopped in half. So, 8 times 6 is 48. Chopped in half would be 24. Now, if we were to do this in feet, we would have 8 over 12 times 6 over 12. Real quick, I want to do some simplifying so these numbers don't get out of hand. 4 goes in 8 twice, and into 12 3 times. 6 goes in here once over 2. So 1 times 2 on the top is 2, and we have 3 times 2 on the bottom is 6. 2/6 simplifies down to 1/6. Now, if we remember how to simplify 24 divided by 1/6, we'd multiply by a reciprocal, and that turns out to be 144 square inches over 1 foot. Or, sorry, yeah, 1 square foot. You might be noticing a pattern on this side as well. Let's look at these next two. Now they give us feet, and since it's a circle, we can keep pi. We don't need to bother with the goofy 3.14. That's no fun. So for the circumference of this, all it is diameter, or 2 times radius, which equals the diameter, times pi. So 2 of these radius. Let's be 1 more. It's another 2.5, and hey, that would be 5 pi feet. Now let's do inches. Just taking a guess, what do you think inches is going to be? Well, we know that 2.5 feet is, well, 24 inches is 2 feet plus another 6 would be 30 inches. 2 times 30 would be 60 pi inches. Be 30 plus another 30. And we've done this already once before. What's 60 divided by pi if we were to simplify this? Oh yeah, 60 divided by 5. 12 over 1. Inches on top, feet on the bottom. You see how this ratio is starting to be kept and it's consistent? So, let's do our area, which would be pi r squared. 2.5 times 2.5. If we were to do this, I'm going to turn it into a mixed number. That's what's something that's squared. It's just times itself, and equals r times r. Now, I'm going to make 2.5. 2 times 2 is 4. 5 over half times 5 over 2. And 5 times 5 is 25 over 4. Which can be seen as 4 goes into there 6 times with 1 left over, so that's like a quarter left over, so 6.25. Be an easy way to write that. Now if we were to make this in inches, we have 30 inches. So 30 squared equals, well, 3 squared is 9, so 30 times 30 would actually be 900. We can have 900, oh, we forgot pi on both of these. Now use your calculator and see what 900 divided by 6.5 is. 900 divided by 6.25. Hey, we've seen this before. 144 over inches over 1 foot. Make sure everything's nice and labeled as we go down through here. Alright, let's do some perimeter for this parallelogram in D. Now if we show our work over here, we have 1.5, 1 2/3, 1.5. So 1.5 plus 1.5 would be 3. plus 1 2/3 plus 1 2/3 would be 4/3, so that would carry 1, so we've left with a third. Plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3 1/3, which equals 6 1/3. 6 1/3 feet. Now, if we were to turn these into inches, 12 inches is a foot. 2/3 of a foot would be like dividing 12 into 3 parts and having 2 of them. So 12 divided by 3 is 4, and 2 of those parts is 8. 12 plus 8 is 20 inches. A 1.5 would be 12 inches plus another 6 would be 18 inches. So we just do 20 plus 18 plus 20 plus 18. So these are inches. And that would be 76. I'm going to venture ahead and say that if you were to do 76 divided by 6 1/3, what do you think it would equal? Now let's get some areas. For feet, we would have 1.5 times 1 1/3. Now these operations are really difficult to do on your calculator, but they're mega easy to do with improper fractions. Check this out. 1.5 is the same as saying 2 times 1 plus 1, so that's 3 halves, times 1 1/3, or 3 times 1 plus 1, 4 thirds. Hey, your 3's cancel out. And then 4 divided by 2 is just 2. Your area is 2. Now, if you could take a guess, following this pattern of what inches should be, meaning we wouldn't actually have to calculate it, what would you say? If for every 144 inches is 1 square inches is 1 square foot, here we have 2 square feet, so how many inches would there be there? It's going to save you a lot of work if you can get that. Last one we have on this page, and then not too much after. Let's get a quick perimeter. Let's add all this stuff up. 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 8 is 18, plus 4 is 22. And we know all of these patterns have been the same. 12 inches for every 1 foot. So what is a way that we could figure out how many feet is in this? Well, what if we were to just divide 22 by 12? What would you get? I'm going to do the fraction of this because it's a bit bonkers. 22 divided by 12. Let's divide both of these by 2, which would equal 11 over 6. Now, if you don't believe me, I can show you the math. We would have 5 twelfths plus 5 twelfths plus 4 twelfths plus 8 twelfths. Now we already did 5 plus 5 plus 4 plus 8, which was 22 twelfths, and if you need more convincing now, then yeah, talk to me in class. Now, the very last thing we need to do is find the area of this goofy thing. Let's use inches. And in order to find an area of a parallelogram, we have a simple formula. It's the big base, so the length of the big base, that would be 8. That's a equals sign. Plus the little base, all divided by 2. So we're finding the average of those two bases, and then times the height, which would be 4. So we have 5 plus 8 divided by 2 times 4. 5 plus 8 is 13. 13 divided by 2 is 6. I guess we can just keep this. 13 halves times 4. Now check this out. We can simplify the 2 and the 4. 2 goes into 4 twice, so we're just left with 13 times 2. 13 times 2 is 26. Hey, 26 square inches. Now, if we were to figure out, or if we already know that 444 square inches is for every 1 square foot, how about we just divide 26 by 144? We'll do that over here. 26 divided by 144. Now I see a quick common factor would be 2. So 2 goes into 26 13 times. 2 goes into 144 72 times. I can't simplify that anymore. Neither can you. Let's write down 13 over 72, and I know you're not cheating. This one's kind of fun. We just need to look here and then name the units for each pair of rulers. Now, these rulers are not drawn to scale. They're drawn to show a relationship between two different measurements. You have this top measurement here, and you have this bottom measurement. Now, if we look in the top measurement, you'll see that it's cut into, half is the big one that's here, and then it cuts in the quarters, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it's cut into eighths, little bits of eighths. It looks like this 1 goes down around, that'd be 2.5. And let's see, this 2 is just a little bit more than 5. So that means that 1 is probably a little bit more than 2.5. This 3 gets a little bit bigger than 7.5. This 4 is a little bit bigger than 10, as we see. So we look and we're like, So turn to the back of your... Oh, you may not have your book on you. So Google conversion rates, and you'll see a few things lined up. You'll see, say, going from foot to meters. 1 foot is about 1/3 of a meter. So now it's not right, because this here says 1 of the top is about 2.5 of the other one. Let's see, 1 quart is 0.95 liters. 1 gallon is 3.79. No, that's not quite it. Ooh, how about this? 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. Now, if you look real closely out there, it's not quite one. If the top were inches, it's a little bit more than 2.5, so like 2.54. And each one, it gets a little bit further than 2.5. I would venture to say that this is a inches, centimeters pair of rulers. So go ahead and just label those like that, and you're all done. Now, if you see the second pair, start looking at for every one of the top unit, it gives you about a little over 1.5 for the bottom one. So in our conversions, we look for what gives us, for every 1, gives us a little bit more than 1.5 of another units. And it's going from, I will tell you that the top one is US, something or other. And then down here would be metric. So, tell me what kind of units. Are they talking centimeters and inches like they were last time? Are they talking quarts and liters? What kind of units? So I told you the category, and you tell me. Last hint of the night is this one is actually a metric unit over another metric unit. So tell me, what kind of metric units is the top and the bottom? Label those for me. Alright, here's a good chance for extra credit. If you can show me the first thing in class,
Wednesday,
morning, who is correct, Fred or Sam, with reasoning, and have it written down here, your reasoning written out, then you can get some extra credit for this. So, the morning after this is due, or sorry, the morning this is due,
Wednesday,
extra credit. Lastly, for number 4, ask how can you convert from one measurement system to another. The examples on these 3 pages are measurements of length and area. Describe a conversion between 2 types of temperature units. So they ask, how can you do that best? Well, to me it seems you can use a formula, and that's the best. And you can plug it into a calculator, and it spits out a conversion very quickly. We just have to know how to use the numbers correctly. A conversion you guys recently did was between 2 types of temperature units, Fahrenheit and Celsius. If you can quickly describe that conversion in a sentence or 2, that would be very helpful on this very last problem. I will see you in class. Thank you.